CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Connor Hogg.
Good evening. About 300 vehicles are stranded along a major highway north of Edmonton. They're stuck in snowdrifts, ditches, and behind jackknifed semis after an intense snowstorm blew in last night. CTV's Jeremy Thompson has more on the situation and the response.
It's 8:15 in the morning. We've been here now for about 12, 13 hours.
Deep snowdrifts surround a line of traffic stretching into the distance on Highway 63 south of Fort McMurray. Hundreds of people caught in a spring snowstorm that hit Thursday evening.
Just north of Wandering River around 5:36, the weather just turned completely for the worse. It was full whiteout conditions.
People like Judith Awascu are tired and frustrated by a lack of information on what they should do and when help will arrive.
Been making phone calls and sending text messages and trying to get a hold of somebody or anybody to give us some answers.
Most of the traffic is stuck near Mariana Lake, about 100 kilometers south of Fort McMurray. Highway 63 and Highway 881 were closed for most of the day. Drivers doing their best to stay warm, fed, and informed without running out of gas, aided by McMurray locals who jumped into action.
We put it on Facebook, that's where we're going to meet, and people start coming, truck after truck, truck after truck. And then at 2 a.m., we hit the road.
Mohammed Terrapin's group loaded up with pizzas from a local joint that kept its kitchen open and gas cans to help.
It took us 2 hours and a half to get to Mariana Lake. And when we got there, man, it was like a disaster.
While volunteers did their part, drivers were relying on Facebook posts from people like former radio host Mike Jones for updates.
There wasn't really a lot coming from official sources, so it was a lot of eyewitness reports, and people are sending me messages being like, hey, this is what's happening, can you get the word out, can you spread this out?
Highway 63 and 881 remain impassable due to dangerous storm conditions.
Around 1:20, roughly 20 hours after the first vehicles got stuck, the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo posted this video update from RCMP and issued a press release advising the public about a coordinated response that had been active in the background since early in the morning.
Outside the boundaries of the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo, but there are residents. So this morning we got down and got kind of caught up to what's actually going on. We deployed, there's a fleet of tow trucks heading south.
Tow trucks, plows, and other heavy equipment on their way from both directions.
That was CTV's Jeremy Thompson. RCMP say parts of Highway 63 will be entirely closed tonight north of Wandering River and south of Highway 881. The regional municipality of Wood Buffalo is sending buses, food, and water, as well as plows and heavy equipment to help people who are still stuck. Highway 881 is also blocked in both directions north of Imperial Mills. RCMP say snowplows, tow trucks, and police will work together through the weekend to help stranded drivers and reopen highways. The storm is also still impacting roads around Edmonton. RCMP have issued a tow ban for part of Highway 21 and on Highway 16 east to Elk Island. They say it's too dangerous for operators, so if you get stuck in that area, there will be no help until the weather clears. The town of Peace River has canceled its state of local emergency and flood alert, saying water flows in the Heart River have decreased. In a Facebook post, the town says there is still a risk of ice jams forming within the boundaries of the community. It says residents should continue to prepare for changing conditions. Outside of the classroom and in the classroom, the province is streamlining the way Albertans can become educators. 4 new expedited teaching certificates will soon offer some the opportunity to enter the workforce before their degree is done. CTV's Tim Brook has more on the program and why some parents are a little worried.
In a push to get more educators into Alberta classrooms, the province is introducing 4 new expedited teaching certificates. Final year Bachelor of Education students, internationally trained teachers, tradespeople, and certain skilled workers will soon be eligible to enter the workforce as they complete their degree or final coursework.
The expectation is that by September of this year, there will be courses available under this program.
The expedited certificates will be temporary, allowing participants to teach while completing their education. It should make a dent in the province's promise to hire 3,000 new teachers over the next 3 years. But
we're certainly not relying on these certificate pathways as a significant measure in meeting those targets.
Alberta is facing challenges with retainment and recruitment, but some still worry we're rushing the underprepared into a complex situation.
As an organization that supports public education, we have concerns that this would be watering down the profession.
In fact, some groups have even deemed it quantity over quality.
The active part of teaching is relational, and that comes with experience, and that comes with rigorous training in education.
I don't know that we have a shortage of teachers so much that we have teachers who aren't willing to work under this government.
The program is voluntary and all applicants will still be required to complete their course load.
I am confident that the total 10 complement of courses that they will be required to complete before being issued a permanent certificate will set them up for success.
Applications to enter the expedited process open June 1st, and the province says it'll have more to say on other teacher hiring initiatives in the coming weeks. Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
The Alberta Teachers Association says expanding pathways into the profession must be a careful balancing act. The ATA says it will support new teachers and adds retaining is as important as recruiting. More details about what led to a stay of proceedings in a sexual assault case against the leader of a spiritual group and his wife have emerged. Their lawyers allege the Crown prosecutor in the case manipulated evidence from 2 expert witnesses. CTV's Amanda Anderson reports.
These defense lawyers were in court Friday to get clarification about what information about their client's sexual assault case can be publicly released. They represent John de Ruyter, a self-proclaimed spiritual leader of the College of Integrated Philosophy, also known as the Oasis Group, and his wife Leanne. They were charged in 2023 after allegations made by several female members of the group that John manipulated them into having sex. Charges that were stayed last week after senior Crown prosecutors reviewed the case.
When there is Crown interference with evidence, we can't trust the evidence anymore. And what was demonstrated in this case was that there was Crown interference with proposed witness evidence.
Defense counsel alleges the Crown prosecutor manipulated evidence of 2 expert witnesses they wanted to call during the trial. One that would testify the group was a cult, the second a forensic psychologist.
The Crown made significant edits and suggestions for edits to these expert reports, which in turn changed their opinions or made their opinions more damning against the de Ruiters.
The public should be asking that this doesn't happen in any other cases and be asking for reviews to ensure it hasn't happened in other cases.
The Alberta Crown Prosecution Service would not discuss specifics, saying only an internal review is underway to make sure this situation doesn't happen in the future.
But for the prosecutors intervening, this matter would have continued and could very well have resulted in a miscarriage of justice against our clients.
The defense intends to file complaints with the Law Society and College of Alberta Psychologists.
I don't relish the thought of complaining to the Law Society of Alberta, but that's a duty we have to report conduct that is that we think is inappropriate.
He says an application to recover court costs will also be filed. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Edmonton police are looking for a person who was robbed last month. Police say it happened on March 25th at McEwen LRT station. They say someone used a hatchet to cut off the victim's backpack before jumping on a train. Police say they have already identified the thief. They're now hoping the person who was robbed comes forward to speak with investigators. They also want to make sure the victim was not injured. Some major road closures are coming to West Edmonton, so work on the Valley Line West LRT can continue. Starting next week, there will be lane closures at 178th Street and 87 Avenue. 1 week later, lane restrictions begin at 170th Street and 87 Avenue. Lane reductions will continue in stages through the construction season, with work at both intersections continuing until the end of the year. Other parts of 87 Avenue will also see lane reductions for the rest of the year. The city says while the closures are disruptive, this should be the last year of major road construction for the project.
In terms of road and sidewalk construction, we're pretty much going to be done this year, which we're pretty happy for. At least I hope the commuters will be happy because they won't see any of the traffic restrictions like they've had in the last 4 or 5 years.
To stay up to date on the lane closures, you can sign up for construction notices from Marigold Infrastructure Partners. University of Alberta researchers believe they're making promising progress in the battle against Parkinson's disease. CTV's Curtis Goodrum has more on the research and how it could change lives.
While Neil Merkel works hard at the gym, a team at the U of A is also working hard, fighting Parkinson's disease.
We've been interested in the misfolded proteins that are thought to cause Parkinson's disease.
Neil noticed a change in 2022.
A tremor in my right hand.
That tremble was an early sign of Parkinson's. He was only 47.
It hits you like a ton of bricks. It's pretty surreal. Like I didn't believe it at first. My first thoughts were I have most of my life ahead of me.
Neil is far from alone. On average, 38 people are diagnosed with Parkinson's every day in Canada.
This is much more prevalent than we realize.
The search for a cure is widespread. The U of A team is now sharing a promising development, a vaccine they say slows the progression of Parkinson's in mice by 40%.
We have the special trick in there, meaning using structural biology in there, which is absolutely necessary for the success of our vaccine.
While the vaccine is still in the testing phase, it has shown potential to help those with early symptoms.
The 40% extension, if you would give this one to a human being, would be tremendous.
So Neil is doing the best thing, keeping his body active, the best medicine available.
We want people to have hope, but also realistic about, what they've got to do for their own health.
Neil is pulling every moment he can from life.
I've learned that regardless of what the disease causes me, I'm going to continue my workouts, I'm going to continue living life, doing the traveling.
Curtis Goodrum, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Alberta Medical Association is calling on the province to provide universal coverage of the preventative RSV shot for babies. The respiratory virus led to 525 hospitalizations of Alberta children under the age of 1 this respiratory illness season. 60 of those infants were in the ICU. No deaths were reported this season. Alberta currently only offers a preventative medication to high-risk infants. Canada's National Advisory Committee on Immunization also recommends free RSV immunization for all infants during their first season. The head of AMA's pediatrics section says colleagues in the United States who have universal coverage of this medication are seeing far fewer kids going to hospital.
And they went from dozens to hundreds of kids with RSV every year to single digits that they were seeing in their clinic. And they said it was amazing. We can do it. I think the kids of Alberta deserve it, and that we join the rest of Canada in providing this particular medication to our kids.
Most provinces already offer universal RSV shots for all infants. The Alberta government says it's asked the Institute for Health Economics for a cost-effectiveness and feasibility analysis to guide RSV prevention for future seasons. W.P. Wagner students have raised nearly $100,000 for the Ben Stelter Foundation in this year's Wagathon. Students biked for 24 hours raising money for the foundation. Their efforts this year will support children and their families fighting pediatric cancers. Nearly 400 students took part in the overnight bike-a-thon.
We have been doing this for months, out fundraising on evenings and weekends, and I'm so unbelievably proud.
Students have raised about $1 million over 15 years of the Wagathon. You can still donate by visiting benstelterfoundation.com. Coming up later in the show, the recent winds have created a rather unusual traffic phenomenon in downtown Edmonton. Also just ahead, a historic organ at the University of Alberta will spread its music one last time. And a world-famous organist in town is hoping something can be done to save the nearly 50-year-old instrument.
If you remove an organ from its room, it's like removing its heart almost.
Good evening, folks. It was another cool day across the province. A little bit better further to the west in Grand Prairie at 7. Here in Edmonton, we got to 1 for a high. Wind was the big story, combined with blowing snow. That wind should gradually start to ease through the day Saturday. Still some more flurries in the forecast, though. Talk about all that in just a few minutes.
A historic organ at the University of Alberta is about to be played one last time. The Cassavant organ in Convocation Hall is being removed as part of renovations. Supporters are calling on the university to reverse its decision. That includes a world-famous organist who posted about it to millions of followers. CTV's Naramanisa reports.
British organist Anna Lapwood gets ready to play a sold-out show at the Winsphere Centre this weekend.
I still haven't got over the fact that that is my life at the moment. I am still pinching myself regularly and feel so lucky.
The 30-year-old credits social media for her growing audience. She has 3 million followers on Instagram and TikTok.
It's a bit more mysterious, and so I think it means that it's even better on social media to be able to bring people up close and say, okay, you've never really heard how this instrument works. Let me show you.
Lapwood is now using her social media for an Edmonton cause.
This is the amazing 1978 Cassavant memorial organ, and really ridiculously, they're about to take it out.
She posted this video about the Cassavant organ being removed from the University of Alberta's Convocation Hall. The organ was installed in 1978 and dedicated as a war memorial. Convocation Hall is undergoing renovations. Part of the plan is removing the organ for accessible and additional seating. Tammy Jo Mortensen is a local organist fighting to keep it in place.
It would be very, very hard to dismantle this instrument and put it someplace else. So ideally, it should stay right here. It's acoustically a wonderful hall. The organ speaks really well into the hall.
In a statement to CTV News, the university says it's looking to move the organ safely and possibly rehome it.
If you remove an organ from its room, it's like removing its heart almost, and trying to find a new home for an instrument of that size, I think it would be extremely hard, and I think the likelihood is it would probably end up not finding a home.
The hall's renovations are slated to begin in May. Naramanisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
Edmontonians can show their support for local bookshops this weekend at the Indie Bookstore Day Extravaganza. Participants can pick up a passport at one of 16 participating independent bookshops. Visiting each store will earn one passport stamp and the chance to win prizes. Purchasing an item at the bookstore while you're there is not required, but it is encouraged. One of the extravaganza organizers says this is a celebration of the role these shops have in their communities.
When people support indie bookstores, they nourish an entire ecosystem. They support indie publishers and curated collections by booksellers who love to read. They're boosting the love of books and reading, and they're keeping resources and dollars local in their communities and their economies.
For those who don't drive, Edmonton Transit is offering a free shuttle service to the shops. Everything starts tomorrow on Indie Bookstore Day. A race car driver from Red Deer is excelling on the world stage. Parker Thompson is a rookie on the 2026 FIA World Endurance Racing Championship circuit. He won in his first race last weekend in Italy. Thompson teamed up with 2 other drivers to pick up the win during the 6-hour-long race. He drove his BMW during the middle 2-hour leg of the event for the winning team.
Most drivers spend the majority of their careers trying to win a race like that. So the fact that we just walked in and did it right off the bat it's pretty incredible.
Thompson will stay in Italy for a race on a different circuit before resuming the FIA Endurance Series in Belgium next month. Windy conditions forced a change of plans down at the Calgary Expo. Instead of the usual parade, organizers pivoted to a dance party ahead of the opening ceremony. Celebrities and fans in costume braved the cold, bringing together people who traveled from all over to be there. Leading the way and dancing along was Calgary Mayor Jeremy Farkas, dressed as Mario with a golden wrench and water pipe. He's embracing the expo.
It's great to be able to spend the weekend with a bunch of nerds like me. I'm going to be checking out the anime section. I'm a big fan of Star Wars, going to be chatting with some of the vendors.
About 100,000 fans are expected to come through the expo, which runs until Sunday night. Coming up after the break, they're both Oilers fans and opera singers, and they're turning to song to work through past playoff emotions.
Maybe this time we'll be lucky.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. 13 degrees, the average daytime high. We'll be back into that range by Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. Today, your daytime high was 1. Average low for this time of year is 1. Gusts were 50 to 70 kilometers per hour in the Edmonton area. We had gusts earlier today up around 90 kilometers per hour in through the Red Deer region. Strongest gusts here in the red zone, so still up around 30 to 40 kilometers per hour right through tomorrow morning. And even through the afternoon hours, you're still 20 gusting to 30, maybe a little stronger here further to the east. I think by the time we hit the evening hours, though, supper time and into the evening, we should start to lose those gusts. And even 30 kilometer per hour gusts through the day tomorrow, a lot better than it was today. Just still on the breezy side. Still some pockets of snow set to go through on the backside of this low pressure system. Everything wrapping from north to south as it spins around that low. As this low kind of backs up, most of the snow by Saturday afternoon is going to be from Edmonton off to the west. So east central Alberta, you'll get a little bit of a break, just some scattered light flurries. Heavier snow potentially tomorrow night in through foothills and mountain parks. And then Sunday, there might be a couple of scattered snowflakes flying around, but for the most part, just mostly cloudy skies. -6 in Fort McMurray, -7 in Grand Prairie tomorrow morning, about -5 for Red Deer. You get back to -2 Fort McMurray in the afternoon, about 8 degrees in Grand Prairie. Red Deer, Lloydminster, Coronation, all 2 to 5 degrees below zero, while Jasper, chance of snow tomorrow night, but 6 degrees tomorrow afternoon. We'll be around the freezing mark tomorrow. Again, as we said, not as windy as today and yesterday, but still on the breezy side. 2 and light wind on Sunday, back to about 5 Monday, and then in the 10 to 15 degree range for Tuesday, Wednesday, with more mid to high teens and more sunshine in the forecast for the middle to the end of next week. That is your forecast.
The wintry weather is causing major disruptions to a soccer tournament in the Edmonton area. The Edmonton Minor Soccer Association Champions League tournament includes about 200 teams. It was supposed to be outdoors in Atchison. All of those games have been moved inside or delayed. Organizers say teams that don't play will receive a refund. In Edmonton, we're used to traffic disruptions caused by the weather, but some downtown drivers were still caught a little off guard by this one. Last night, a Port-a-potty could be seen in the area of 103rd Street and 103rd Avenue moving through traffic. It appears to have been dislodged by the wind and blown into the road. The turbulent toilet was blown through traffic and comes to a stop near the side of the street. The Edmonton Opera is hoping to hit a high note with Oilers fans with its latest video. This one reimagines the song Maybe This Time from the musical Cabaret, doing so in response to back-to-back Stanley Cup losses. CTV's Naramanisa has more.
Maybe this time we'll be lucky.
From the office to a street hockey game.
For the 6th time, the cup won't slip away.
The Edmonton Opera is voicing its support for the Edmonton Oilers.
There's so many differences that we each have, but what do we all unite around? We can unite around something like the Oilers.
Joel Ivany is the artistic director with Edmonton Opera. He says hockey and opera have more similarities than most think.
Opera is, to me, the highest definition of kind of art and theater, and that's what you're seeing on the ice. Kind of every one of these playoff games is drama. It feels kind of like life or death, which is kind of what opera can be.
This year's video shows some of its opera singers in everyday roles. The scenes from the street hockey game features Ivany's son, Sammy.
I've been performing and singing my entire life.
The 12-year-old says it was a full day of shooting, starting in the studio and then ending with his scene.
I gained my confidence each time I sang it.
I didn't pressure him too much into it, but it's something he's a passionate sports fan himself.
We will be playing La Bamba, 16 wins with La Bamba.
2 years ago, Edmonton Opera released this video, which included Oilers anthem singer Robert Clark. Ivany says it was met with pushback from some superstitious Oilers fans who believed singing about winning would jinx the team.
We're very sensitive to that as well, but also just we love the city and we don't want to miss a part of cheering for this team.
Ivany hopes to make these videos a postseason tradition. He says they will always be singing the praises of the orange and blue.
We love our city, we love our Oilers, so go Oilers, go.
Naramanisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
Thanks for watching us tonight. For the latest news anytime, visit our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. From all of us at CTV, thanks for spending your time here. Have a good night.